Injury Reserve, the Arizona hip-hop trio featuring members Richie with a T, Stepper J Groggs, and the producer Parker Corey. These guys specialize in making absolute bangers in the field of hip-hop, especially with a jazz rap feel and a whole new refreshing dose of charisma and down-to-earth personality on the debut mixtape last year, Live at the Dentist Office. A mixtape that was extremely good, but didn't really seem to garner too much attention, but certainly a lot of praise from the people that really did appreciate it. A number of people that is certainly a lot lower than it really should be. Well, I was certainly very excited for Floss, the debut album to be released this year. And as you can see, considering that Live at the Dentist Office had a very colourful fluorescent cover, you can tell that Floss might be a little darker than the last release, and you know, that's exactly what's happening. Sure, there's still a whole dose of fun and down-to-earthness and charisma being shown on these tracks. I mean, that's what brought people to Injury Reserve, that's what made them so refreshing as a hip-hop group. But on this album, they seem to also be delving into topics more personal to Stepper and Richie. And also, Parker Corey just produces consistently some awesome beats on this album. You start off with the opening track, Oh Shit, with the 3 exclamation marks. It's an absolute banger of a track, and not just a banger, a moody banger. It's got that piano sample at the beginning. But Oh Shit is just performed with such powerful delivery. The rhyme scheme on this thing seems like if you read it on paper, it would be quite a tacky rhyme scheme to follow, but because Richie performs it with such power to that delivery, it really doesn't affect anything.
Oh shit! Oh shit! They said, man, we want some more hits. Man, it sound like some shit from 06. What that sound like, man, that's some cold shit.
And the lyrics on this album are awesome because, as I say, they have that awesome balance between being fun and also being serious, though it does get a little more serious towards the end, especially with the track with Vic Mensa and also the track Look Mama I Did It, but more towards the start it's a little more, you know, loose, getting you into the whole energy of things, especially the track Bad Boys, which has an awesome opening line.
I went from niggas telling me I really shouldn't rhyme to drop on the classic album motherfuckers couldn't find.
And also the track All This Money, which is kind of a track about, you know, playing on that idea of flaunting your cash. You know, there's not many tracks about flaunting your cash around that speaks on the idea of budgeting your money for filming the music video to one of your previous singles.
Spend it all on a video. Riding in a slingshot downtown, pretty though.
Or perhaps a track that's a little more realistic about the ideas of overindulgence when it comes to getting a lot of cash.
Was pretty bad before, now I'm just reckless. Apples are rock for dinner, lunch and breakfast.
Also, that beat is bananas. It is bonkers. A lot of beats here are awesome, especially on S on Your Chest, which has this awesome jazzy sort of sample, and What's Goodie, which has a bit of a metallic feel to it. And then towards the end, Look Mama I Did It has this really powerful mix of gospel and hip-hop. Eeny, Meeny, Miny, Mo has an awesome abrasive kind of beat, and the lyrics kind of using Eeny, Meeny, Miny, Mo as a metaphor for how people are unpredictably just propelled into the spotlight for any amount of time, kind of just randomly picking and randomly choosing how long they're going to be famous for. And then Keep On Sippin', featuring Vic Mensa. It's quite a slow burner, this one. I feel like it is a bit slow and syrupy at the start, but once the beat kicks in during that chorus with Richie singing the hook, that's when it really kicks off for me, at least. You know, and it is the song that's totally serious. It's kind of covering mental illness and family issues and drinking problems. It's quite a personal track here, and considering the album was touching on these in previous tracks, it's kind of nice to have one that's fleshing it out a little bit more. However, the track here that really just overwhelmed me with emotion stuff, it was Look Mama I Did It, the final track on the album. I mean, this thing is almost tear-jerking with the gospel samples and worked into the beat, and Richie and Stepper just reflecting on their lives. Richie, you know, addressing the relationships with his mother and his father, but both members are kind of addressed in significantly different ways. And that last verse from Stepper was incredible. He kind of addresses the pressure of now now being seen as a role model by a lot of people, and but also celebrating the status that Injury Reserve have now gotten to, thanking the fans for everything, sharing their music, buying their merch, going to their concerts. It's kind of a nice thank you note to those who support Injury Reserve, which I thought was an awesome note to end the album off. Even though it was heading towards that more touchy material, it does kind of end off on a very positive note. The only problems on this album I have are honestly quite minimal. Maybe just with a couple of tracks, just different pieces of a track, like maybe the track Girl with the Gold Wrist. The hook kind of gets a little bit tedious, and on the track All Quiet on the West Side, not too big on the pitch shifted vocals that are quite deep and low.
Pitch shifted vocals that are quite deep and low.
On that track it sounds a little lethargic, coupled with one of the slower beats, more down-tempo beats on the track listing here. And no, honestly, that's really it. I mean, I don't really have too many problems with this album. I'm absolutely satisfied with it, and I hope that going into 2017, this album does not lose any relevance at all. It was totally deserving of more buzz, and these guys constantly put out some of the most refreshing hip-hop out there today. I'm totally glad that this album came out in December. Closes out the year very well, even though I've still got to do that Kid Cudi album review, but that's coming later. But, you know, Injury Reserve doing so well, and I'd give this album an 8 out of 10. Yeah, awesome.